Today's a very exciting day. We are finally upgrading the equipment. I have been after one of these for ages. It's a wide angle lens. I can't wait to see what difference this will make. Let's get it open and we'll see how wide it can go. Alright, I'm sat behind the desk here. I'm looking really small. Let me just try and lean forward and see what it's like. Yeah, even when I lean forward, it isn't too bad. You can still see like all of the background around the studio, but that's pretty cool. Let me zoom in just a little bit. Let's see what this looks like. So if I'm sat here doing one of the usual episodes, and then we can just zoom this in. I think that doesn't look too bad. You can still see a lot of the background. This drawing pretty much dominates this wall, so I might need to take that down or put it somewhere else. There is only just one problem with this lens, and it shows the studio in all its glory, how messy it is at the minute, because I've never had to tidy it before. Usually it's just like this much, and now it's this much. You're probably going to be seeing it a lot more now and in the background, so I feel like I need to make it a bit more presentable. Therefore, let's start this episode off by giving this place a bit of a makeover. I know a lot of you like this drawing, so I'll try and find a different place for it, but at the minute it just takes up way too much of that wall. I might put it over on that side and see what it's like over there. Look at how bare the wall looks behind me. I'm probably going to have to put some more artwork on there as well. It's looking like a very blank and empty space at the moment because I've taken down all of the posters that were on that wall. I don't really feel a need to take these ones down because I like how they look in the background anyways, but now I'm going to gather up all the artwork that I can find, start putting that on this side of the wall and see what that looks like. I just keep all of the artwork, well, most of the artwork that I've done, in one plastic bag, which is probably not the best way to look after it. But I actually cleaned out that drawer the other day and found loads of drawings that I forgot I even did. This wide angle lens makes it seem like I'm really far away. But yeah, I like the thought of having all these drawings on that side of the wall, and I'm probably going to leave this side clear. This is a white wall, so I don't really want to darken it up. Especially when the camera's recording, it makes the space feel a lot smaller than it actually is. But I'll go ahead and stick some of these on that side of the wall and see what that looks like first, and then we can take it from there. So get ready for some hanging drawings on the wall B-roll. Because this space is so small, it's hard just to even move around. I've actually blue tacked these drawings on the wall, which I'm hoping makes them stick. I'll probably end up coming up here tomorrow and seeing them all on the floor. Alright, so a bit of a problem. I don't have as many drawings as I wanted to actually put up on that wall because some of them are downstairs, some of them have already been framed. I do have a lot of drawings, a lot of the smaller drawings that we've done throughout the videos, so I could put them somewhere. And I think I have some more movie posters somewhere as well, so I'll go find them in a second. But first, I just want to show you something that I've found. So I did this drawing, and I completely forgot I even did this. This is from like 2 years ago. I'm guessing if you watch a lot of YouTube, you already know who this is. It's neistat, by the way, for those that don't. And the light keeps reflecting on this, so let me just go ahead and show you. I actually remember filming this and putting it into a time lapse. I've just checked the computer and I've found the old video. The video quality is pretty bad on that time lapse, but I used to record using a really old camera. Regardless, it's pretty cool that I found this drawing. The only thing I noticed though is that I haven't included a background. I think I did want to add a background onto this, but I could either not think of one or I was short for time. I'm not sure if a background would suit this, but I'm curious to find out what it would look like. In fact, I've just had an idea. We are temporarily putting the decorating on hold because I'm going to add a background onto this drawing. Oops. In fact, let's talk a bit about adding backgrounds to drawings, because I never used to do them until I started to see what they can really do for the drawing. It depends a lot on what it is you are drawing, but sometimes a background can really finish it off, and it can add context, it can completely change the feeling of a piece of artwork. Sometimes though, a background isn't necessary. Some drawings can look better without one. It really depends on what it is you are trying to go for, and again, what it is you are actually drawing. I'm also not sure if this one needs one, but I'm curious to see what it would look like, so let's do it. Alright, so first of all I need some kind of an idea, and I like the thought of going for something a bit more graphic with this, so maybe involving some text. I'm not too sure what kind of text, however I'm also not sure if any of you are familiar with Casey's content, but he's just released a clothing line, a set of t-shirts and hoodies, and these have this like white text over them that say work harder. I'll put an image on screen so you know what it is I'm talking about, but I'm thinking maybe I could take that text from there and put that onto this drawing. The words could be in the background and then we could have Casey over them, if that makes sense, and obviously I need something else to go along with that to fill the overall background. So I originally had this idea to use an image of New York. I'll have to go ahead and find some images to use, but then I could try and come up with something, maybe like some kind of skyline that would go along with that text. I'm just throwing about ideas. I'm really not sure what this would look like, but there's only really one way to find out. I'll probably end up improvising as we go along anyways. But I'm going to go ahead and get right into this, and then I can talk about the whole process of adding a background to your drawing and what you need to consider when you are doing that. So let's say you have a drawing like this one, and you've finished this drawing but you are undecided on whether or not you should add a background, because like I said earlier, some drawings don't need one. Before you decide to start drawing a background, you should really take some time out to try and imagine what the drawing would look like if it had one. I always try to visualise what it would look like before I actually start drawing. With this one, I knew that I wanted to involve an image of New York, and so I started looking at loads of different images of New York cityscapes, trying to decide what would be the most suitable. Now this was a normal portrait, and most of the time when you create a portrait, it's the person you have drawn that should be the main subject. That means you don't want your background to take away the attention from that subject. You don't want it to overpower the main aspect of the drawing. You should also look at how you have done the drawing. When I say this, I mean look at how dark you have shades in parts of the drawing. Think of the contrast it would have with a certain background. On this one it was mostly grey shades that were not too dark or light, meaning that I could create a more varied background. If I had done a really dark drawing and then added a dark background, it could be too similar and then there wouldn't be any contrast. You want the background to emphasise the subject in most cases, so my idea with this is to use some of the text to break it up in the background. I could have gone ahead and not used any text and had the whole background as one city, but I think that would be too much, and again it could take away focus from the actual portrait. One thing I considered was the hair, because that was the darkest part of the drawing. Therefore I made sure I wasn't creating any dark marks around the hair that would blend into that. This is why the text worked as well, because it reduced the amount of detail, it softened up the background, and it also brought that portrait forward, separating it from the actual cityscape. If you are creating a realistic drawing and working completely from a reference image, then you might just be drawing the background that is already there. Sometimes even then it's a good idea to change how dark or light you make areas. It's whatever really works best in improving the image. A good idea is to sketch the background in lightly first, after the main part of the drawing has been done, because then you can just work out the shades to use on the background as you go along. Like I was saying earlier about the hair on this portrait, it's good to see how the background would meet the main subject of the drawing. Now it normally works best to use contrasting tones, so placing a dark and light shade next to each other is a lot easier to differentiate than putting two dark shades next to each other. Another thing I want to mention is the purpose of the background. Sometimes it can be used as a tool to simply give context to the image. For instance, let's imagine if I had used like some kind of space theme background on this portrait, it might actually look cool, but it wouldn't relate to the subjects that I'm drawing. The background can also be part of telling a story too. And there's so many ways to draw a background depending on what it is you are drawing, but this was just some things to consider before you start doing that. So there we go, that is the background done and finished. Now I like the way that this is turned out. I'm just going to go ahead and use the eraser to get rid of some of these smudge marks though. Also I think these buildings work really well. It sort of acts as like some kind of frame around the whole drawing. I was unsure whether to carry this on all the way around here, but I sort of left it here at the horizon and then carried on this skyline a bit further up on this side, but I didn't know whether to just carry this on all the way around. I'm not sure if that would look better, but let me know in the comments what you think. I can always come back to this anyways and make some small changes to it, but overall I think it was a good idea to add a background. I might actually use that old footage that I found and then combine it with this new footage to make some kind of time-lapse video. I think that would be quite a good idea, but I hope you like the way that this has turned out. Another thing is that whilst we was working on that drawing, these drawings have fallen down from the roof, as I expected, because I only stuck them up there with blue tack. I'm going to figure out a better way to do that, therefore the decorating will continue in another episode, but I hope you enjoyed today's. I tried to provide some kind of value through these episodes, as well as making them entertaining and somewhat varied, but I also should have some tutorials out this week and other stuff, so I should still have you covered. Also, this wide angle lens is pretty cool, right, because you can just see loads on screen now, so I'm excited to see what this will bring in the future. Other than that, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like because it really helps me out, and as always, have yourself a great day, and I will see you in the next one.